dear learners, all of you are welcome to the one-way online English class of SHIMU-REZA at college. I am Shamiran Kumar Mandal, lecturer in English, once again stand before you today. Dear learners, today the topics we are going to discuss with you is Valentina Tereshkova, English first part, Unit 1, Lesson 3. Dear learners, this lesson is actually, the two women, actually Valentina Tereshkova and Kalpana Chawla, Unit 1, Lesson 3. This lesson is about two brave women who stepped the first outer world. They both made a huge turn in the world history, no doubt. Dear learners, especially Valentina Tereshkova, born in Central Russia in 1937, 6 March, was the first woman in the world history to travel the space in 1963. She made a successful journey to the space and back up to Earth safely. Dear learners, now I would like to go to the textbook. Let us start our textbook. Okay. Unit 1, Lesson 3. Two women, especially Valentina Tereshkova, was born on 6 March 1937. Valentina Tereshkova was born in the village Masenkovo, Totovsky district in Central Russia. Okay, here we find central is a very important word, and we should learn the synonym of this word. Central, middle, mid, inner, main, chief, etc. Here learners, I would like to show you one board. Central, C-E-N-T-R-L, C-E-N-T-R-L, central. This is an adjective. It is adjective. Central, middle, M-I-D-D-L-E, main, mid, inner, I-N-E-R, inner, and chief, C-I-E-F, C, etc. are the main synonym of this word. Okay. Next sentence. Tereshkova's father was a tractor driver, and her mother worked in a textile plant. Textile plant. Here, plant means workshop, plant. P-L-A-N-T, P-L-A-N-T, plant. Dear learners, it is a noun. Workshop. Workshop. Okay. Textile workshop, plant. Tereshkova began, start, commence, launch, began. Another important word. Tereshkova began school in 1945 at the age of 8, but left school in 1953. and continued her education through distance learning. Distance, another important word. Distance, I mean space, interval, gap, length, remoteness, etc. Dear learners, I would like to show you one board. So this in this sentence we have find more important words I would like to show you. At first, Tiraskuma began school. Began, the past form of the verb begin. So I would like to show you. Begin. Begin is a verb. Start is S-T-A-R-T. Start, commence, C-O-M-M-E-N-C-E. Commence, launch, L-A-U-N-C, launch, etc. Okay, then another word I find in this sentence, and the word is school in 1945. At the age of 8, is means time, period, era, pose, S A G L is a noun. Time, period, time, period, era, epoch, E-P-O-C-H, epoch. Okay, is, and another word, but left school in 1953 and continued her education through distance learning. Here, distance is a very important word. Distance, D-I-S-T-N-C-E. Distance. The learners, the synonym of this word, distance, space, S-P-A-C-E, space, interval, interval, and gap, G-A-P, gap, and length, L-E-N-T-H, length, and remoteness, R-E-M-O-T-E-N-E-S-S, remoteness. Okay, these are the famous synonym of distance. Okay. Then onwards, next, she became interested in parachuting from a young age. He became interested in parachuting from a young age and trained in skydiving at the local air club, making her first jump at age 21st May 1959. Okay. At that time, she was employed as a textile worker in a local factory. Yes, it was her expertise. One important word, expertise. I mean, highly knowledge about something, especially person who has expert, who has a vast knowledge, expertise, skill, ability. Okay, in skydiving that led to her selection as a cosmonaut. Cosmonaut, another important word. Cosmonaut means astronaut. Okay, I'd like to show you on board. Expertise. It was her expertise I mean, it was her skill or ability. It was her expertise. Dear learners, I would like to show you on board. Expertise, 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 expertise. This is a noun. Expertise means skill, ability, maybe like ty, ability. In skydiving, that led to her selection as a cosmonaut. Another important word, cosmonaut. C-O-S, N-A-N-T is a noun. Astronaut, N-U, N-A-U-T. Astronaut. Okay, dear learners, next para. After the flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human being to travel to outer space in 1961, the Soviet Union decided to send a woman in space. Learners here, after the flight, here, important word, flight means flying, air travel. I would like to show you flight. F-L-I-G-H-T, F-L-I-G-H-T, flight. That flight is a noun, flying, F-L-Y-I, and the flying. Air travel, after the flight of Yuri Gagarin, the first human being to travel to outer space in 1961, the Soviet Union decided to send women in space. 16 February 1962, Proletaria Valentina Tereskova was selected for this project from among more than 400 applicants. Yes, it is very much applicants. Tereskova had to undergo a series of training that included weightless flights, isolation test, centrifuge test, rocket theory, spacecraft engineering, 120 parachute jumps, and pilot training in MiG-15 UTI jet flights. Dear learners, in this sentence, I would like to show you a very important word. The scuba had to undergo. Undergo, I mean endure. Where I would like to show you the word undergo. U-N-D-E-R-G-O. Undergo is a verb here. I mean endure. N-D-U-R-E. Your bear. B-E-A-R. Bear. The learners, Tereskova had to endured were a series of training that included weightless flights, isolation tests, centrifuge tests, rocket theory, spacecraft engineering, 120 parachute jumps, and pilot training in MiG-15 UTI jet flights. Learners, next paragraph. Since the successful launch of the spacecraft Vostok 5 on 14 June 1963, Tereskova began preparing for her own flight. Here, an important word. Since the successful launch means flight, take off, launch. L-A-U-N-C, launch. This is a noun. Successful launch, flight. F-L-I-G-H-T. Flight, take off. Take off. Okay. Dear learners, since the successful flight takeoff launch of the spacecraft Vostok 5 on 14 June 1963, Tereskova began preparing for her own flight. On the morning of 16th June 1963, Tereskova and her backup cosmonaut Slovakov were dressed in space suits and taken to the space shuttle launch pad by a bus. The learners there we find dressed, where dressed. I would like to show you dressed. Dressed. Tereskova and her backup cosmonaut Slovakov were dressed. Where? W-E-A-R. Sorry. Dressed. D-R-E-S-S-E. Dressed. D-R-E-S-S-E-D. Dressed. Where? W-E-A-R. E-A-R. Where? In a spacesuit and take off and taken to the space shuttle. Orbiter. Space shuttle. S-P-A-C-E. Dressed. Space shuttle. S-H-U-T-T-L-E. Space shuttle. Orbiter. Orbiter. T-E-R. Orbiter. Dear learners, space shuttle used as a noun. Okay. Orbiter. T-E-R. Orbiter. Okay. Launch pad by a bus. After completing her communication, conversation, and life support sex, she was sealed inside Vostok 6, finishing a 2-hour countdown. Vostok 6 launched faultlessly. Dear learners, here we find in this sentence another important word, completing. C-O-M-P-L-I, completing. I mean complete. Finishing. F-I-N-I, say it, I-N-G, finishing. Achieving. A-E-V-E-N, achieving. B-I-N-G, achieving. Her communication. C-O-M-M-U-N-I, C-A-T-I-O-N, communication. Jogato, communication, noun. It's a verb. Completing, complete. Verb. Communication and connection. C-O-N-N-E-C-T-I-O-N, connection. Contact. C-O-N-T-A-C-T, contact. Conversation. 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 So after completing, I mean finishing, achieving her connection and communication, conversation, contact, and likes for sex, she was settled the seat inside postdoc 6, finishing a 2-hour countdown. Postdoc 6 launched faultlessly, I mean flawlessly, correct or correctly. Faultlessly, adverb, fault, F-A-U-L-T-L-E-S-S-L-Y, faultlessly, adverb. Okay, faultlessly, flawlessly, F-L-A-W, flawlessly, correct, C-O-R-E-C-T, C-O-R-E-C-T-L-Y, correctly. Okay, dear learners, in the next paragraph, although the discover experienced nausea, I mean quasiness, nausea, and physical discomfort, I mean soreness, uneasiness. For much of the flight, she orbited, I mean traveled round the earth 48 times and spent almost 3 days in space. Dear learners, in this sentence, find another important word, nausea. Nausea. Quasiness, nausea, N-A-U-S-E-A, nausea. N-A-U-S-E-A, nausea. Quasiness, Q-U-E-A, quasiness. Nausea, quasiness. And physical discomfort, I mean this word, discomfort, soreness, discomfort, D-I-S, an important word, discomfort. Now since is a noun, discomfort is also another noun. Soreness, I-N-E-S-S, soreness and uneasiness, uneasiness, dear learners. For much of the flight, she orbited, another important word, orbit, O-R-B-I-T, what we get is a verb form. I mean, traveled. Traveled was rounded. 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 The Earth 48 times and spent almost 3 days in space. With a single flight, she logged more flight time than the combined times of all American astronauts who had flown before that date. Here, she logged. Logged means record. Another important word, logged. L-O-G-D-E-D. It's a verb. Logged, record. R-E-C-O-R-D. Record. The learners, record. Telescope also maintained a flight log and took photographs of the horizon, which were later used to identify aerosol layer within the atmosphere. The learners have important word identify. I mean recognize, distinguish. Identify. I-D-E-N, identify. It's a verb. Recognize. R-E-C-O-G. Recognize. N-I-Z-E. Or distinguish. D-I-S-T-I-N-G-U-I-S-H. Distinguish. A very most important word, and it's synonym. Identify. Okay. Dear learners, in the next para, postdoc 6 was the final postdoc flight and was launched 2 days after postdoc 5, which carried Valery Bosi into a similar orbit for 5 days, landing 3 hours after telescope. The two vessels approached each other within 5 kilometers at one point, and from space telescope communicated with Byakovsky and the Soviet leader Khrushchev by radio. Here, this sentence we find an important word, approached. The two vessels approached, I mean advanced forward. Approach. The learners, I would like to show you on board. Approach. A-P-P-R-O-S-C-H-E-D. A-P-P-R-O-S-C-H-E-D. Approached. It's a verb. Advanced. A-D-V-A-N-C-E-D. Advanced. And forward. Forward. F-O-R-W-A-R-D-E-D. Forward. The learners. Forward. Forward, F-O-R-W-A-R-D, F-O-R-W-A-R-D-E-D, forwarded. Forwarded. Dear learners, next paragraph, the final paragraph of this lesson, of this topic. Much later, in 1977, Tereskova earned a doctorate in engineering from Chukovsky Air Force Academy. Academy means the synonym of academy is school, college, university, institution, etc. are called academy. Afterwards, she turned to politics. During the Soviet regime, she became one of the presidium member of the Supreme Soviet. Presidium. Another important word, presidium. Presidium means executive. EXECUTIVE, executive and committee or presidium member of the Supreme Soviet. Now, this Soviet regime had another important word, regime, rule, administration. Rules or administration. Soviet rules or Soviet administration. So regime. Now, this living legend, another important word, legend. I mean genius. Living genius, living legend, living prodigy is a member in the lower house of the Russian legislature. On her 70th birthday, when she was invited by Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin, she uttered her desire to fly to Mars, even it for a one-way trip. Oh, what a brave journey. So, here is the end today, dear learners. That's all about the topics Valentina Tereskova. You will have to learn these topics in this way clearly. Then you will be able to answer all the questions on the basis of these topics. Dear learners, no more today. More when meet again in the next class to get or to enjoy our next class. Visit our Facebook page by name SHIMU-REZA MP College Facebook page and subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.